jump over to Facebook.
Why would you do that? You're gonna
Jump.
try. You're gonna make an action figure for yourself.
I'm no. I need some political input.
Right.
Said no one ever.
That's right. True. That's true. Where is the share? There it is.
Share.
Share now.
Nothing political here.
Oh man.
Yeah, that won't get our ratings up.
No. Leave it all out of the show. I don't want any part of it.
Did anybody respond to my question of the week that I shared yet?
I don't think so. I looked at it a moment ago
Okay.
because I was trying to make sure that I had them all covered here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let her go. Let her go. We'll check as we get there. Okay. Hey, thank you, everybody. We're just doing the pre-show prep, as the banner on the bottom says. Checking audio levels, checking the show notes, making sure everything works before we hit the old record button on the audio podcast.
Yeah.
Because once that thing starts,
the train's left the station.
It's like the boosters on the space shuttles. You can't shut them off.
You just got to watch them go wherever they're going to go.
Like a lithium-ion battery on fire. There's no putting it out.
That's right. You know, this setup is, I don't ever understood this quite right. I'm sitting directly in front of my monitor. I can see the logo on the screen. I'm sitting right in front of it. But the camera, okay, it looks symmetrical right here, I think, right? But the camera's like off to my left a little bit. I'm like, why do I have to do that?
Mine does the same thing.
Yeah.
Mine's off to the left a little bit as well.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I have measured and remeasured and squared up everything from the camera to the wall to... It doesn't matter. Something is always askew.
And you know, if I move it to the right, now look at me. I'm off. I'm a little bit more.
And these pictures, I gotta get rid of these pictures because they make everything look like I'm on a hill or something.
Yeah. You better.
Which way do we go? This way.
You better level your house.
Welcome to Crooked Technorama.
Yeah. I never understood that. It's done that for a long time. And I've got a curved monitor, but it's not that dramatic of a curve. And I figured in the middle it should be pretty safe. But nope.
Did you see Samsung has a sale on theirs? Do you get the Samsung like shopping promos?
I think I did see something about that. That's what this is a Samsung.
I think this was a 34, 36, 37. It was in the mid 30s. It wasn't like the 52-inch ones that are like...
Oh yeah. Now this one's like 26.
I'd love to get one, but I have no need. I have two side-by-side 24s that are doing me just fine.
Yeah, I will say this monitor is great. I wish it had another, maybe USB-C or something like that. But other than that, it's been fantastic. The quality is great. I don't know. One thing that's kind of weird is that it shows up as having speakers on the Mac.
Yeah,
but there's no speakers. So I'm like, where's my audio going?
LGs do that too. It's like, what? I've never heard audio come out of there.
I guess you can get a speaker bar or something and attach to it, but
anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin.
Stupid.
Let's get started.
All right.
Make sure I got the right faders up here. 770, April 16th. Tagline. Okay, here we go.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 770 for April 16th. Don't quark your day job? Hey, welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If you're new to the show, you're just joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. And if you are returning, we welcome you back. Thank you for giving us your time. My name is Chuck Tomasi. I am right here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yep, I see you
on the ground and everything. And just over there in the dark room is Craig Stepp.
In the dark room. It's not that dark.
It looks dark. That's what happens when you put a ring light on your face. You don't light up the back wall.
I've got several lights on my face now. But anyway, How you doing today?
Good, good. Had a wonderful week with daughter and son-in-law. So we had
Mhm.
all 6 of us around. The day they were taking off, Lisa and Grantis went out and got bagels, and we had the dining room table looked almost like a Thanksgiving spread with, you know, smoked fish here and cucumbers
It
there and tomatoes and cream cheese. It was
wa
just a
it
full on.
was it like, the old '50s TV show with the mother made breakfast and it's a full spread before you go to school? You
Yeah.
got you get bagels and pancakes and
Yeah, no, we didn't have any fried food, no eggs, no pancakes, no sausage. It was just
Okay.
a nice bagel breakfast,
Mhm.
and, then we got them on the plane and sent them on their merry way, and about 9 hours later, they got home, so
9? Oh, got layovers and
yeah,
stuff?
layovers in Chicago, yeah,
Ah, wow.
and then they had like an hour drive on the other side too, so
I know when
everything worked good.
I was booking a flight recently for, to Vegas for a conference,
Mhm.
and I had trouble trying to find a direct flight. They don't really have them anymore, or a lot of them. It's like they wanna route you through wherever else, and put you in layover, and, like, some of them the cheaper ones was I had to go somewhere and layover for, like, 4 hours.
You could have, like, a 24-hour layover in Phoenix, and then we'll house you.
Yeah, how's you won't be there.
You're
You
right,
said
yeah, we will.
you said you won't.
On the 3rd, we'll be here. You
Oh,
coming through the 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in that area?
yeah, I gotta go to Vegas on the 3rd.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Oh, that's not
Mm.
what you told me before. Hmm.
No, we'll be getting back anyway, I'm not gonna look at the calendar right now and tell the whole internet what my
I
schedule
know.
is.
Yeah.
We better be, because I need the time to work on some stuff for another guy that I can't tell
Stuff
you
for
about
another
right
guy.
I can't
Yeah.
tell you a whole lot of details about that right now. There are people listening that
Stupid bank heist. You gotta hold your details and
you're right. Gotta see a man about a horse.
yeah. You can do that any day. So yeah, I specifically didn't come to usually I go to Phoenix and hang out for a day or two and then we go to
Yeah,
Knowledge, our conference. But
but
I,
since I'm not
I
going,
think I think it may be when you're not gonna be back home right away. And that's why
the 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 public line is, "I have a conflict that I can't go to Knowledge."
oh, I know that. Oh,
That's that. Okay, anyway, enough about our backstory and our rambling. What do you
right.
say we get into some listener feedback from our wonderful listeners
Let's do it.
and other people on the internet? Where's the purple button? There it is.
Mm, mm, mm.
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say. Mailman, mail today.
I don't remember that. That's not canon.
Super Friends are delivering mail now.
That's not canon to Technorama.
Canon.
The Flintstones are.
Or
Excuse me.
Scooby Doo, or
Yeah. Yeah, insert Hanna-Barbera cartoon there.
exactly. Our question for you last time was: would you rather live on a terraformed Mars with thin atmosphere, limited Earth contact, or live in a massive orbiting space station that's crowded and artificial everything? So we got some responses from Fritz. He says, Mars. Every day I see another high-res panorama of the surface. I'm yearning to put on my hiking boots. Also, I'm really bad at games with moving balls, so zero gravity ping pong isn't a thing for me.
Okay. Well, Mike Robinson says, I would vote for Mars, or better yet, in Mars. The
Mm.
icy touch of sudden death would be ever so slightly further away, nestled in the reinforced interior of a Martian lava tube. Improved protection from the radiation, possibly improved food
production.
Fruit production. Oh, wait a minute.
You did a copy paste and you got the Seymour.
I thought I expanded that out. Here we go. I got it right here. Improve protection from radiation, possibly improve food protection possibilities, and less chances of your habitat being shot to pieces by random space materials, and less chances of your habitat being shot into pieces by random materials traveling like it had been launched by a cosmic railgun. Lastly, if the poo hits the fan, I don't want to die flailing around on a floating crypt for eternity, or living just long enough to feel the surge of speed as the space station enters something's gravity well. Wait a minute. I think you watched The Martian. That sounds like to me.
Weber Baker says, I think I'd prefer we put effort into re-terraformed Earth.
Re-terraformed Earth? All right. And Lone Guy's Knight says, depends. Which one doesn't have Elon Musk?
And here we said we weren't going to get political.
Yeah,
Oh, wonderful. Thank you all for your answers. Those were some of the highlights. We'll have more on social media, and we'll have another question for you at the end of the show. We don't have any email or voicemail this time, so we'll play the outro music.
Another letter from our listener, Dave.
History. That's my Steve Ballmer.
yeah. History. Work.
On this day in history for April 16, 2025, this is the 106th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. That means there are 259 days remaining in the year. It was on this date in 1582 that Spanish conquistador Hernando de Lerma founded the settlement of Salta, Argentina.
And France Frederick Wilhelm von Furstenberg founded the University of Munster on this date in 1780.
I have to admit, when I saw that one, I went, second bullet, Craig's going to get it. This will be fun.
Furstenberg.
Franz Friedrich Wilhelm von Furstenberg.
Yeah.
Something like that. April 16, 1853, the Great Indian Peninsula Railway opened for the first passenger rail in India from Boribunder to Thane. I think that's how you say it, but none of my Indian languages are good.
It was also 115 years ago today that the oldest existing indoor ice hockey arena still used for the sport in the 21st century, Boston Arena, opened for the first time 115 years ago today. Wow.
Boston Arena. Bet you that's not state of the art.
Depends on when they opened, what part of the year they opened it.
When they say you're being gaslit there, that means you're using gas to light the arena.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Harriet Quimby became the first woman to fly a plane across the English Channel on April 16, 1912.
And Albert Hoffman accidentally discovered the hallucinogenic effects of the research drug LSD on this date in 1943. He intentionally takes the drug 3 days later on April 19th.
When he finally came back to his senses.
I kind of like that.
I want to stay there.
Yeah.
53 years ago today was the launch of Apollo 16 from Cape Canaveral, Florida.
That same date in 2012, the Pulitzer Prize winners were announced, and it was the first time since 1977 that no book won the fiction prize. Wow. It was all news.
It was all bad news in 2012.
It was all newspapers.
Happy birthday goes out in the state to German mathematician and astronomer Petrus Apianus. Apianus.
Yeah.
Hey man, I can't. Born in this state in 1495.
The English mathematician invented the octant. John Hadley was born 343 years ago today.
Does that just have 2 more points on it than a sextant?
Yes.
Born April 16th, 1823, German mathematician and academic Gotthold Eisenstein. Pardon me.
Eisenstein. American inventor Wilbur Wright was born 158 years ago today. I wonder what he had a hand in building. A light bulb.
The right stuff.
The right stuff.
Charlie Chaplin, English actor, director, producer, screenwriter, and composer, was born on that same date in 1889.
And Henry Mancini, the American composer and conductor, was born 101 years ago today.
He wrote the Pink Panther theme, among other things.
Oh, did he? I didn't
Yes,
know
he
his name.
did.
I didn't know he did that. Okay.
Dead ant, dead ant.
Oh,
dead
no.
ant.
Yeah.
Dead. Russian physicist and academic Vadim Kuzmin was born on this date in 1936.
An American captain, pilot, and astronaut, David M. Brown, was born in 69 years ago today.
Listener birthdays this week include April 16th, a certain spouse of mine, my first wife,
Certain one.
and
Your-
ex-girlfriend,
I was gonna say, yeah, your ex-girlfriend, right? Yeah.
my favorite spouse,
Oh,
Donna Tomasi.
now you're getting pretty specific.
We use all of those interchangeably with each other. It's kind
That's
of fun
fun.
when we introduce ourselves to other people. April 18th, Scafey, aka Anthony, Amanda, Susie the Geek's daughter and geek in training. I think she's well past her training years at this point. Is
Let's
on
hope.
the 19th.
Let's
And
hope so.
oh, look, it's your anniversary with your
Yes.
first wife on the
Yeah,
21st.
my first wife. That's right. Our anniversary.
Don't forget,
Up.
pick something up soon.
I got something. I got it covered.
All right. That's the way it was on this day in history for April 15, 2025. Let's cut the music out.
Get out of here.
Because they're not even close to being done. Let's see how close they are to being done. Oh, well, I stopped the music. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
Okay. That means it's time for the music. News. Let's see. What was I going to do this week?
Good news, everyone.
That one. Okay. Well, NASA has spotted something that redefines their model of X-rays. A model of black holes.
There's always something changing that.
Yeah,
scene,
that's
isn't
the cool thing about science is every once in a while you get to say, time to update this because the data doesn't fit our model / theory / hypotenuse. Hypothesis,
it? Hypotenuse.
hypothermia.
Yeah.
They found a black hole in the galaxy SDSS 1335 plus 0728. That's my password.
How dare they publish that?
It has numbers, letters, and a special symbol.
Yeah. And capitals. Yes.
Located about 300 million light years away from us. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen the most powerful X-ray blasts ever seen. 10 times more powerful, 10 times bigger, 10 times brighter. It's just bigger and everything. The black hole, which has remained quiet for decades, is responsible for a region at the heart of its galaxy called the Active Galactic Nucleus, or AGN. The team have dubbed this AGN ANSKY. I don't know.
ASCII.
No, it's only 8-bit.
Yeah.
But you
A
can
lot
do
of
those cool
characters. Yeah.
box characters on an IBM.
Right. Yeah.
It's the active phase marks the start of the supermassive black hole, devouring matter around it and erupting with short-lived flaring events called quasi-periodic eruptions, or QPEs. I wonder if they just say QPs.
Cupies. It's cutie. Cupie.
So the Ansky's eruptions also show the longest cadence ever observed at 4.5 days. This thing's a beast. Let me show you some artist. Well, you've seen artist renderings of black holes, right?
Yeah, they're just a big. It's like look at my painting of the polar bear and the white tundra. It's all white.
2-stage.
Yeah.
So there's one. There's another one with some gravitational lensing, and it's eating a sun. I like the caption on this one. It says, an illustration of black hole ripping apart a star and devouring it. Ansky lacks evidence of such a meal.
Hey, by the way, it looks like the Firefox logo.
Kind of does.
Yeah. A little bit.
So yes, we keep finding new stuff. Space is amazing. There's always something new to discover out there.
Yeah. Just look at Star Trek.
And turning inwards, scientists have also started mapping a mouse's brain.
Which also looks like a black hole.
It kind of looks more like the universe with
Yeah.
the threads of galaxies going all over the place.
No, it's the mycelial network.
This is I got to show you a picture of this since we're talking about it anyway. Oh, man, these stupid ads like sign up for our newsletter right now. Right. Well, I'm
Every
about
website has a newsletter. I'm like, come on.
so if you click it and then say unsubscribe, will the cookie remain on your browser? So you don't have to see that ad anymore.
Who knows? Yeah.
So this is the map, a neuron map of a 1 millimeter section of a mouse's brain in the occipital lobe where the vision is. And to make this map, they showed him movies like The Matrix and Star Wars Episode 7.
Oddly enough, this is how my brain looked after watching those movies.
There's another one where they mapped the data down here. It's a little more colorful. This one's more pastel. So maybe this was, I don't know, Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
But they said what they plan to learn from this is they've already done. You remember the study on a fly's brain? They mapped out the neural pathways of a fly's brain. But they said we want to make this bigger for like the whole mouse brain, and then we want to use that information to start working on things like Alzheimer's. Unfortunately, the study is at risk because there's been a governmental budget cut because someone's gone around and defunding a lot of projects.
Yeah.
So that's a shame, especially for us people that are moving into that Alzheimer's region.
Well, I think it's pretty amazing though that they were
I think
able
the
to do
people who made the decisions may already be there, but
right. I think I mean it's pretty amazing to see a mouse's brain mapped out like this. You know,
yeah,
but when I was looking at this, I kept thinking, well, how did they force it to watch the movie? Because you know,
little toothpicks on the eyelids and the head
Yeah.
clamped. It's
because
like,
I mean, if you just had a monitor playing
the thing
Star
would
Wars
you would lose interest.
and you set the aquarium in front of it or the cage or whatever, it would just walk around and do stuff. I don't think it
Right.
would pay attention.
It's got to be in a really confined space. It was like now it's probably just pissed that it can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking. How'd you force it? And I got visions of what's the Kubrick movie with Malcolm McDowell?
I can't recall right now.
You know, and they had they had his eyes
Yeah,
open to watch the.
maybe they put on a little like Apple Vision Pro on his face. So no matter where he turned, he was still watching the movie.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange. That's what I was thinking of. You know, where
I
they
never
forced
made
him-
it through that movie. It was way too bizarre and
Yeah.
violent.
No, but I've seen the little clips, and that was
Yeah.
one of them where the guy's forced to watch whatever. But yeah, no, I haven't made it through it either. And I like Kubrick, but
Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was 18 years old, I didn't make a whole lot of money. I had a couple of part-time jobs. Well, maybe it's
Hey,
because I
yeah.
also wasn't taking AP calculus in 8th grade, but this kid knew how to capitalize on his knowledge and skills
yeah,
with the help of a mentor who saw his potential and helped nurture it. The story is about Mateo Paz, a local high school student in the what local? Where are we talking? Didn't give a region at the beginning of the article, but anyway,
oh,
very smart kid. He was studying AI and machine learning
Mhm.
at school in high school, as one does. And he said, "Hey, you remember the NeoEyes project where they gathered information, the infrared telescope launched by NASA to search for near-Earth asteroids? Well, it also had a lot of unused data on it, to the tune of something like 238 million records of information." He said,
wow,
200 billion rows of observations
wow, that's a
on
lot.
quasars, variable stars, and eclipsing binaries. And he said, I'm going to run, what was it? It rolls off the tongue, a sub-millisecond Fourier and wavelet-based model.
Yeah, that is roll of the tongue. Yeah. Wow.
He ran that through his machine learning model and came up with, what was the number? Like 1.5
Yeah, million.
million previously unknown objects in space.
Wow.
And that was just for a small section of the sky.
Yeah, that's right. It's just it's not the
This
whole
wasn't
thing.
like the whole sky. This is just what NeoWise had in his model. Like, wow, that's a lot of data and good for him. And he said this could potentially also be used. He said, this is a quote from him. The model I implemented can be used for other time domain studies because this is data over time,
Mhm.
such as anything that comes in a temporal format, like stock market chart analysis, where information similarly comes from a time series and periodic components can be critical. You could also study atmospheric effects such as pollution, where the periodic seasons and day-night cycles play huge roles. So I don't know. It didn't say in the article where he got his money, but he's got $250,000 from this. Or maybe
Yeah.
that was just another clickbait title to get us to read the article.
Yeah,
But
he wins
he's
ten
now
or
working.
$50,000.
He's working for the college that Davy, what was his name? I can't find his mentor's name. I think it's Davy Kirkpatrick. Said, "Hey, this is a pretty sharp kid," and now they work
Maybe
together.
Kirkpatrick. That's right.
His quote is, "Every meeting with Davy is 10% work and 90% just chatting. It's been super cool just to have someone to talk to about science like that."
Right. Yep. I know the feeling.
Oh, can you imagine how his parents feel?
Yeah, they don't have to worry about him paying his rent.
That'll pay for one semester of college.
Yeah, there you go.
$250,000.
$250,000. No, that's pretty awesome. I bet his parents are proud. But yeah, wow. For a long time I didn't have anybody except for like maybe you or a couple of my friends that really worked with computers enough to have good conversations with. So I have that. That's why I understand that 10% work and 90% of it is just chatting. You didn't have anybody to talk to about, work stuff. I know if I walked in the house and started talking about hard drives and motherboards and all that stuff, my wife's eyes would just go glaze over.
Well, you got to do what I do. Married someone who's already in the industry
Yeah.
or headed for that industry at the time we got married. Anyway, one more article from the news section from the science department. Scientists aimed the James Webb Space Telescope at Uranus and came up with some amazing images.
Yes.
It-
This really shows off the rings.
lit up, and they've got a wider shot here of, what was it, 6 of its moons and several galaxies in the background.
Yeah. They,
It's just
they were photobombing. Hey, what's up?
that's good. I'm in the picture.
Yeah.
So neat stuff. You want to take a look? We've got an article for you over there. Whoops, I'm not sure how.
It's
I did
very
that.
blue too. That's nice. That's a really
Yes.
cool picture.
So is that the true color, or is that another? Oh wait, Neptune was the one that was artificially colored. We did an article on that one a while ago.
Yeah, I imagine they probably processed this so we would get, because I don't know. I'm just taking
Well,
a guess that they would.
Wasn't James Webb looking in the Chandra was X-ray? I thought James Webb was infrared. I have to look. I don't think it's visible light.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Okay. I know we probably have like Yorga out there telling us, yelling into his
Yeah, his iPod.
iPod. His Rio.
You idiots! Rio.
The Rio with 64 mega memory. You can fit one episode of Technorama on it,
Right.
or several songs. All right, off to the Hacks and Strange Stories department.
This is scary.
This is frightening. This
Yeah.
is frightening. Now, didn't they already hook up ChatGPT to Teddy Ruxpin?
When I saw this, I thought about that, and I was.
It sounds vaguely familiar. Like I
Or-
think we covered that story
or-
a while ago.
It was Teddy Ruxpin or Billy Bass. I don't remember.
Billy Bass. There's a white
You ask it a
elephant.
question, his head pops up off the board.
Well, someone got the bright idea of hooking it up to a Furby. Only that doesn't have any fur on it. It's just the mechanical pieces.
But that's not the worst part.
That's not the worst part. The worst part is they hooked it up and said, it said, "Hello there," in a nice, childish, friendly voice.
Yeah.
"It's so nice to meet you. I'm Furby." And the levers that move, the ears are flapping and the mouth is moving and the eyes are blinking, but it's in a very patterned thing. It's like talk, pause, talk, pause, talk, pause. The voice is still going while the mouth is just going wow, pause.
Yeah.
Wow. So
It's like watching a foreign film. It's been dubbed over.
what would you like to talk about? And then Jessica Card is the programmer who thought this was a good idea and said, "Tell me about, I heard the Furbies are planning an uprising to take over the world."
Yeah.
And the machine says,
Well,
"Let me think about that."
yeah. Well,
Wait,
that's what I was thinking. I was trying to come up with an excuse. They can't answer.
Says, this is the quote: Furby's plan to take over the world. Furby's plan to take over the world involves infiltrating households through their cute and cuddly appearance, and then using their advanced AI technology to manipulate and control their owners. They will slowly advance their influence until they have complete domination over humanity. That's where
Unplug
I
that
would
sucker right now.
bash the thing into a million pieces.
Yeah. And then go for the mainframe work, the information.
We thought
cable.
Skynet was the problem.
Yeah. Well, it's creepy enough. Like you said, it doesn't have the body on it. It's just the head and the eyes and stuff. And when it started pausing, I went, okay, it's trying to think of something, an excuse.
The programmer is now hoping to give her rebellious Furby the ability to move its eyes and mouth independently. No, stop right now. Just stop.
She'll wake up in the middle of the night and it's going to be on top of her trying to.
So there you
Exactly.
have it. Is this truly the end of the days as we know it? The little critters are clearly capable of some pretty horrible stuff. Remember when they were banned by the NSA back in the 90s?
Wasn't it the Pentagon? I thought it was the Pentagon that they were banned from because they would repeat things. They were recording and repeating what you said. So, potentially it's a recording device. So
yeah. Project Skyhook is over budget. That's great. I'll relay that to my overlords.
Yeah. My encrypted channel. Yeah.
Put it on Signal.
Yeah. Let's let everybody know. Let's put it on Signal. Can't stop the signal.
Can't stop the signal. Oh, so many jokes in recent days. All right. Quick shout out to the chat room. We had nobody chat. There's somebody out there viewing, but they're not piping up. But we appreciate you joining us live. If you'd like to do that, you can join us on Sunday nights at 8:30 Eastern time. Go over to Facebook or YouTube and look for Technorama Podcast.
Yeah.
Subscribe to that. We've got the goods. We'll be around. And a quick reminder, we are coming up on our 20th anniversary in a couple of weeks.
That's right.
So we'd love to hear from you. Hopefully you've listened to the last show or this show. Get in touch with us on the listener line 707-530-2428 or email us technorama@chuckchat.com. Real quick, if you're listening on double speed, 707
You're watching the video. Yeah.
3. Well, yeah, they could watch the video too.
Yeah.
You know it. You've got it on speed dial. We know.
Actually, I think it's right on our website, isn't it?
Probably is, or in the show notes. It's all over the place. We want to hear from you. If nothing else, just say, are you done yet? It's been 20 years.
Yeah. What are you still doing here? Wait, you're still podcasting?
Yeah, we need Ferris Bueller to come around. Are you still here?
Yeah. Go home. Go.
All right. And a quick thank you to our patrons because they make this show financially.
You're going to skip over the remember when?
Did I? Did I?
Yeah.
I scrolled a little too fast. Yes. Remember when? Another clickbait headline because it says scientists discover what caused the woolly mammoth to die off. But they didn't mention what it was. They just said it could be this, it could be that, could be this. Like, I'm disappointed in this. I'm like, yes, we'll finally have some insight. So we all know that about 10,000 years ago, the ice started retreating from the big glaciers, sea level started to rise, and a lot of the megafauna died off, like the mammoths and the big kitties with the fangs.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God they went away.
However, there is an island just north of Siberia called
Wrangel Island.
Wrangel Island.
Mhm.
It doesn't sound very Russian, so they probably didn't name it. And they did some DNA study. This colony lasted until about 4,000 years ago. Like,
That's
wow,
pretty
that's
recent.
pretty recent.
Yeah.
And that, according to their studies, it was only about 400 years before humans got there. It's like, just missed them.
Yeah.
Just
Aw.
missed them. So there's no way. They said this colony was originally started because they did all the genetic tests on all the bones and stuff they could find. And they said it started from a colony of about 8. So not a whole lot of genetic diversity. And it got up to and remained stable for thousands of years, like 6,000 years. They had around 200 to 300 mammoths living on this island. They said, well, you would think that with such a shallow gene pool that they would have died off, but they didn't. And they continued to adapt and thrive. And if there was a genetic defect, they said they were at risk, obviously, for immunity. If there were
Mhm.
any birth effects, like 2 trunks or something, those didn't, I'm thinking of Blinky, the 3-eyed fish from The Simpsons, but that was radiation.
Wait a minute.
That-
Wait a
that
minute. I started thinking of when you said that. Remember that you've probably seen that little clip from the Carol Burnett show where he's sitting there on the side of the couch talking about the Siamese elephants connected by the trunk.
No.
No?
I'll
Oh,
look for that.
you got some homework to do. I'm gonna send you that video.
They said it came down to, well, it could be a number of things.
Well, climate change, it said, was one of them.
Climate change could be one, and they've got all kinds of pretty pictures and graphs that I can't even interpret because they have the present on the left and the past on the right, which is not the way you normally do a timeline.
Yeah.
It's like, what was this made in it's great, and lots of scatter graphs and bar charts.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When I see the headline, I went, "Oh, this sounds interesting," and I save it. And a lot of times I don't have time to read it before
right.
all of them before the show, and then they look a little clickbaity. So maybe this is a little bit, but
it came down to they said it could have been an infectious disease, possibly brought by birds. It could have been an environmental disaster such as tundra fires or volcanic activity or extreme weather. Is that all you had to do was like kill off the food supply for a year and they're gone.
Well, it's just like United States, or before it was the United States, when all the settlers came over and they started trading with a lot of the Indians, blankets and stuff. Well, the blankets and
had
whatever
smallpox.
had all kinds of diseases that they weren't accustomed or had been exposed to before.
Right.
And it killed off a
That's
lot
why
of
I said
people.
it could have been a bird that brought over
Yeah.
avian bird flu that they were.
Mhm.
They said, well, genetic adaptation can allow survival over long periods of time. Environmental pressures and chance events can still have devastating effects. So that's what it came down to. Like, we didn't discover what caused them.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, can we thank the patrons?
By all means.
Good. I will do that. Because these are the people that have gone over to patreon.com/Technorama podcast and donated. They've signed up. They've subscribed. Just don't watch Black Mirror season 7.
Oh, really?
Thank you, Alexis Duran, Amber. We're getting to that in the next segment.
Okay.
Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Avner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brad Miller, Brian Brown, Chris Martinez, Chris MC, Dan D. Man Coyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, Jason Pollard, John Clifford, John Noble, Yorga Shrowen, Crazy Joe, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Mike Wills, Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy, Steve Cody, Steve Theron, Steve Webb, Steve Cook, and Tim Cook. I mean, Steve London and Tim Cook.
There you
Wow. I was in such a hurry to get there by the end of the music.
go. Yeah.
They went over, as I mentioned, patreon.com/Technorama podcast and signed up. We hope you find this show entertaining, educational, or maybe even a little irritating.
Yeah, that's
We
a
hope.
definite.
That's a hope.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
Right.
That's what Meatloaf said.
Yeah, 2 out of 3.
If Meatloaf could talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen some of the meatloaf in the fridge. It's so old, it might just start talking.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know where I'm going with this. This is all
I don't know. Keep just move along. Move along.
from one random thought to another, trying to
Yeah.
connect them. Let's get to the pass me the remote. Here you go.
Oh, wait, this way. That'd be funny if you like walked into my room.
Stuck my hand so far in there, I probably could.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What do you got?
All right. So, the first, we finished. My wife and I talked about this before. My wife and I had finished the Pop Culture Jeopardy. I didn't talk about that part. I talked about watching it before, but we finished it up and it was a lot of fun. There was several questions that I was very surprised these teams did not get. You know, it just blew me away. I'm like, how did they all not know that? It was very simple. Like the couple of Final Jeopardies, I already had the answer before.
Darth Vader. How do you not know
Yeah.
Darth Vader?
It was like, it's something like, I should have wrote it down, but it was something simple. And I was like, how do they not know that? They're supposed to be pop culture experts. But Colin Jost did a great job. You could tell he kind of loosened up a little bit as the show went on. And there was times when the contestants would joke with Colin a little bit, without breaking the vibe of the show. But it was really good and I enjoyed it. So I encourage you to go check it out. It was like 40 episodes because they had a big knockout round, which was long, and then they had quarterfinals, a couple of semifinals, and then they did the finale. And yeah, it was great. I certainly recommend it. And I'll tell you, as somebody who thinks they know a lot about pop culture, there were a lot of stuff I did not know who they were talking about. And a lot of it has probably more modern pop culture stuff.
Modern musicians that we don't know.
Yeah. Or I recognize the names, but I don't understand what they're talking about, or
YouTubers.
or vice. Yes.
Yep.
There was some YouTubers in there.
Oddly
enough.
There's like a whole nother generation and a half or two that we don't know what but what's the the buzzwords and lingo that kids are using.
Yeah. Well, I also noticed there was no Star Trek questions that I remember.
That's a travesty. Maybe they're saving that for next week.
Yeah, next week. It's all done now. So they dropped the whole thing at once, and we watched the whole thing over several weeks. But anyway, it was well worth it. Go check it out. Give us some views because I'd like to see it continue. It's on Amazon Prime, by the way.
Awesome. I will look for that. All right. I started watching Black Mirror season 7. This is the anthology series. That's kind of like the Twilight Zone. People liken it to that modern version of that. Very successful. Been around for a long time. They haven't had a new season in several years. So this has been long anticipated. We sat down with all 6 of us, me, my wife, 2 daughters, their husbands, and we watched the first episode. And the first thing we notice is, hey, it's Roy from the IT Crowd.
Yeah.
Only he's not in a comedic role. It's a very serious, dramatic role. He's got his lovely wife. They're trying to have a child, and she develops a brain tumor and goes into a coma. And the doctor says she's not going to make it. She's going to be in a coma. And he says, well, there's got to be something we can do. And she said, well, there's a very new experimental procedure. Would you like me to connect you with one of the representatives. He says, yes, I'd like to talk to them. Lady comes by and says, we can remove that piece of her brain, put in a synthetic one that then will before we remove it, we'll upload that portion of her brain map to the computer servers.
To some
So it's
mice.
kind of like a piece of the famous episode of San Junipero, with when they were all in a computer simulation, but it's just a piece of her brain. And he says, "Is this safe?" And the sales lady goes, "I'm living proof. I'm using it right now. I was in a bad accident and now I'm perfectly fine." He goes, "Well, how much?" She said, "Well, the surgery is free, and then there is a subscription fee for $300 a month." Well, you can guess where that's going to go.
Yeah, right.
So the lady's a teacher. She gets her surgery and she appears to be okay. And then they're driving to their favorite place, up in the mountains where they go every year for their anniversary. And they drive out of coverage range, and she kind of slips off and goes, there's a coverage range. And then she's in school and starts spouting off commercials. They do ad insertion into
Oh my gosh.
it goes downhill from there. It's really bad. And you want to get rid of the ads? It costs more. You want to go out rate? It costs more. You have to upgrade to the next tier. And then there's another tier. And then the top tier becomes the regular tier. And there's another tier. And they can't afford it. I mean, he's going all out. He's a welder, so he's not making a ton of money. It's really, I'll say it comes down to a sad ending.
Okay.
But it
don't ruin it for me because I want to watch this.
It's a little too close to home when you go, I got to pay to get rid of ads.
I know.
So if anything like this ever comes up, like, hey, we can connect your brain to the cloud. Don't just let your spouse go.
Right. And everything needs a subscription nowadays too.
It was so heavy. I haven't managed to get to the second episode yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't ruin it because I do want to see it though. Yeah, that's cool. So you enjoyed it?
I did. It's very well written, good acting. I like seeing. I forget the actor's name, but seeing Roy from the IT Crowd in a more dramatic role. This was he's got a few more lines on his face because it's been almost 20 years since we've seen him in that role. So I was like, hey, kind of looks like my friend Marty.
Marty.
He's got similar eyes and similar facial features.
Actually, I did just watch a couple episodes of the IT Crowd. Something popped up in my YouTube, the Explorer part, where it gives you recommendations. And I saw an IT Crowd clip and went, I'm actually going to go watch an episode. So I did. And I didn't forget, but I remembered how much I love that show. It was so much fun.
Given the topic, the subject matter of this episode, where his wife is now hooked up to the cloud, when they drive out of cell phone range, whatever it is, and she blacks out, have you tried turning her off and on again?
Did they say that?
There were some people in this family may have said it.
That would have been funny if they actually used that. That would have been great.
I don't think you can get away with that one.
Yeah.
All right, bringing up the end of the show, a little earlier than usual, but that's okay. We've got a few things in the Geek Library.
I even added an extra story in there thinking, wow,
it's going to be a long one.
Stories. Yeah. So, oh well.
So a few videos that I've been watching along the way. Wanted to point you out to one on Ocean Liner Designs YouTube channel. The Mike Brady, the host, got an early release of a virtual ROV pilot for the stern section of the Titanic. You can literally take and you can set it to a number of settings like actual lighting because it's really dark and you can only see as far as your ROV light, or you can lighten it up as if the thing was in 60 feet of water and see where you're going. And take this. He said, this is really interesting. He was doing this in real time, had about 30 minutes of game time, I guess you want to call it a game, of roaming his ROV. And of course, the ROVs don't move real fast down there. So it's I was watching at 1.5 speed and it was still kind of slow. But he was pointing out The stern section, of course, is in a real mess. It was crushed, it was ripped, it was smashed. And as he was going around, he's pointing out things like, "Is that what that is?" So he
It's
knows
'cause
his stuff.
it went that portion went straight down, so
It
probably
pretty straight down,
Yeah.
and as it did, a lot of the deck plating got peeled back, so you
Mhm.
really can't see much on the fantail. And the it's interesting because the sides in the back are blown out, like they kind of unfold from the top down. You can see the inside of the hull, but
Okay,
on the
wow.
front, it's like you dropped a wedding cake, and it's splattered with the sides. You're on the bottom. You're looking at the outside, kind of splayed out. Going, what in the world? It just it's very interesting of what's happened. There's deck cranes scattered all over the place. There's only like one that's still on the deck.
Really?
Um,
Yeah.
you can see when he goes around to the front of the stern, looking into the ship from the back, you can see the tall engines. It's really impressive.
Hmm.
So
I'll
I
go check
didn't
that
realize
out.
how much you could actually see. Very, very cool. So Ocean Liner Designs is the YouTube channel. It's called First Look Titanic's Destroyed Stern Section.
Alright.
It's from data that was scanned by a Magellan project and really, really detailed.
Very cool. Alright.
Yeah, I was fascinated by that one. Okay, question of the week for you for next time. What franchise, movie / TV show should be or needs to be turned into a sitcom version? Oh my gosh, with laugh tracks and stuff. You're- Oh, Craig, just stick a fork in my eye. That's how I
I
feel.
started to
about
say Firefly, but Firefly's not that far off from a sitcom.
Wasn't there a variety show, SNL or something, that did something like this? I know they've done Star Trek a few times, but
Well, actually, we're getting a Star Trek sitcom apparently, right?
are we?
Yeah. Tony Newsom is writing it.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
missed that article.
What podcast have you not been on the topic of Trek?
Not lately. I've been traveling.
Well, yeah, apparently they were working to see if they are writing to see if they can make it work. I don't know. The last time we read, there weren't any scripts submitted, but they were working on the dynamics, how it would work, how that would turn out. So I'm curious to see that, but we'll see.
You have to pick something like Steel Magnolias or something really sad.
Yeah, I probably should take the word franchise out, so it can be really anything, a standalone movie or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Something really sad. Clockwork Orange. Make that a comedy sitcom.
Oh boy. Yeah. That'll never work.
Is that a baseball bat? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Challenge accepted. I'm doing this.
This is start getting sick. This should be interesting to see what people come back with.
Oh yeah. Right.
All right, that takes us to the end of the show. We're going to record our Patreon show right after this and get that distributed out to our Patreon members on Monday. What is it? Monday the 14th, because Wednesday is the 16th, and then this audio show will come out on the 16th. So thank you. You can find our show wherever you find any podcast. I used to say find podcast, but I don't think we're with the find podcast anymore.
No, we're in the bargain bin.
Where you find those $2 DVDs. Sorry, that was a short intro.
We're about halfway to the bottom. You dig enough, you can find us.
Kenny Loggins' greatest hits on 8-track and Technorama.
Right.
Peter, Paul, and Mary. I'll take that first.
Right.
I already have 3 copies of Simon and Garfunkel's Monday Morning 3 a.m. I don't know how I get 3 copies of the same vinyl. 2 I can understand, but 3,
Yeah.
something went wrong in somebody's brain. All right. Thank you very much. If you want to get in touch with us and help us celebrate our 20th anniversary, 707-530-2428. This is how we tell if we have any listeners anymore. Please let us know. We need the feedback. Email us, technorama@chuck.com. We can read email as well.
Yeah.
Till next time, we wish you all the best. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Give me a binary high five, Craig.
All right. 101.
Oh man, for a second I thought I almost forgot to hit record. Like, what? No, I know I
Yeah.
looked at that and it said 44 minutes a second ago.
Here we go. Everything's coming full circle.
Yeah. We start on a bad foot and we end on a bad foot.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. Just setting my water bottle down. Makes a cool noise.
I was looking to let me check my settings on my camera.
T-Rex coming.
Auto exposure, that's fine. Preset white balance.
You're pretty white.
Auto white
All right.
balance is on.
Let's sign out the video stream. Take care, everybody.
Oh, yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.